Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 48 of Tales of Tamriel. I am Aggelos, back from our little mini Christmas holiday. Thais will be joining us a little later to do her reading and all the other fun stuff of that nature. So joining me, as you can see the man on the stream, that would be the great and powerful, the mysterious, ignore the man behind the curtain, Deltia of Deltia's Gaming. How are you today, good sir?
There's a curtain? Oh, you guys can't see it.
Green screen.
Hey, doing good. Good day to be alive.
Excellent. Anything fun and interesting happened this week outside ESO?
Outside of ESO? No, I
You're
just...
right. Who talks about that? Forget that.
Is there anything outside of gaming?
I don't think so. I don't know why I said that.
There is
That was
one
kinda
thing.
weird.
My mom and dad moved up to the town that I live in, so we had to help them move.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
All that reminds me of is the episode of Everyone Loves Raymond, where they're first moving into the house. And she drives a big circle around the parents' house, says, "This is the danger zone. We cannot live anywhere within this circle, or it's too close." That's what happens.
I know. I don't watch TV shows, so
Sorry,
I don't know.
I know, and I pulled that out, and everyone here listening to the show is like, "What in the world is that?
What does he mean?
What is this?" Anyway, before we get going, I do want to say a special thank you to several generous donations, especially one from listener. I guess this would actually be a business. Would be Passion Automobile Investments Ltd. They want to wish us a happy holidays, and I want to thank you so much for your generous gift. Thank you so much. We really, really appreciate it. It helps keep things going around here, and to everyone else as well. You guys are all great. We love you to death. You're the best. All right. Guess we might as well roll right into the next little bit, which is our game news section for this week. We were off all last week, so we had a little bit coming in, but because it was the holiday week, it didn't even look like ZeniMax was releasing a lot of news, so we didn't have a whole lot. But the first thing up on the list is one of their community programs, the Battlemaster Corner. And this week it is a build known as the Lightning Priest. Ooh, how shocking. Today's source, it's a sorcerer build apparently, claims to be unstoppable force in combat, hardly ever having to stop fighting. So you can look through and it's like, find out how this player keeps his magicka and health flowing while he destroys hordes of enemies with magical fury. Now, Delta, did you get a chance to look at this build?
I'm looking at it right now.
Okay, it looks like the standard. I mean,
Yeah.
what I like about it, there's a couple things I want to say on a positive first. One, I mean, it's a standard sorcerer build, sorcerer magicka build. Even though from what I hear, stamina sorcerers are actually outperforming magicka sorcerers right now, but that's neither here nor there. The one thing I really did like is if you look down at the bottom, the how it works section, he actually talks about his rotation, which I've never seen other ones do, or I didn't really take notice. But actually outlining what his rotation is pretty neat for a build and how he achieves his DPS. And
You're
I also
copying me.
like... Huh?
Nothing.
Nothing. And I also like how he actually gave his... user ID. That's very brave of you, sir. So if you wanted to ask him about the build or anything, you could whisper him in game. So props to you. I hope you don't get trolled too badly. Yeah, good for you, man. So yeah, standard Destro Restro staff. Trying to look through it. Storm Atronach.
People love the Storm Atronach. Yeah, I mean, is this guy doing PvE, PvP? It depends, but it's pretty much a standard. I don't know what he's doing soloing or whatnot. He uses the Restraining Prism, which is pretty good for CC. Looks like a solo build, and it would really, really work well for soloing around. I don't see Critical Surge on his build, which is pretty much God mode for Sorks.
Mm-hmm.
And also increases your weapon damage, which he's using basically Impulse. So that's a big part of the Sork, why you can stay alive for a while, is that Critical Surge. It's because it's just amazing self-heals. Without that, you're pretty well squishy, so I don't know why he left that out.
It's interesting that he says that it's a high-end DPS maximize DPS builds and stuff like, because the ultimate in particular, Storm Atronach, he's like, it's the best ultimate to use since it can tank for you when you're fighting a single enemy. But like, are we talking solo? Because that's the only time that you wouldn't have a tank.
Yeah, I think 90% of these are solo builds. I mean, we understand that, and
Sure.
and that's fine. And this would work, but the missing component is definitely crit surge, and definitely crit surge. One thing I do want to shout out is Tamriel Foundry is doing their own featured builds. So Atropos had his very popular Reaver build on the site, and that's TamrielFoundry.com. And then also he posted my T3 build. So there's going to be more interesting builds from the ER community, and if you guys want to submit your build over there, feel free to in the forums. So it's another really good place to look at interesting new builds that other people are using. So I would suggest if you're looking for a way to play and be effective, whatever it may be, PvE, PvP, head over to that site. It's really good for this type of stuff, and it's people that have tested it. It's not just hearsay, right? It's actual. This works, and here's how. So definitely go over there if you're looking for something like that.
That's actually where I go for any of my builds that I go. I honestly, I don't look at the Battlemaster corner. I mean, I like that they're doing it, but it's just, like you said, most of the people who put this, and I'm not talking to everyone, I'm sure they probably have there are some exceptional builds out there, but it seems like as a whole, somebody writes in going, this is what I'm running right now, but there's no empirical evidence saying this is my build, this is what it can do. At least on Tamriel Foundry, people post screenshots of like FTC recounts so you can see what their DPS is, or post videos along so you can, if it's like a tank build, people show videos of how they survive, things of those nature to help you understand the build rather than just a wall of text. I mean, there are a wall of text out there, but there's other evidence to support what they're saying.
Well, and a couple of the Battlemaster corners have had videos. I think there was a Dragonite one, which I really liked, a PvP one. That was one of the better ones.
Well, here's the thing. Out of all the Battlemaster corners, I only remember 2 that had videos that actually look like people put... again, to anyone who's written these, I'm just saying what it appears. The people who looks like they went the extra mile with their build, I only remember seeing 2 of them.
Well, if you remember, mine was on there, and the one that got featured was my leveling build, my Lightning Tornado, which actually is very similar to the Reaver. Atropos' build, and I didn't even know about it. That was before I knew about Tamriel Foundry, really. So it's really kind of to help players get some direction. And I think that's what it is. So in this build, is it going to be, you're going to, destroy Serpent? No. But it might work for you leveling.
Absolutely. Great. All right. That was the Battlemaster Corner, the Lightning Priest. If you're at all interested in checking it out, you can find it on the official Elder Scrolls Online page, as well as any past Battlemaster Corners. Next up, speaking of Tamriel Foundry, they did a Champion System Q&A with, I had it and now I lost it.
Eric Roble.
Okay. Oh, right. Thanks. Where they went through and had this interview with Eric about the Champion System, and they went into some insane depth. So, I mean, I definitely suggest you go check it out. It's too much text for us to go over in full here. Was there anything in particular that you wanted to highlight, Deltia?
When we were in the conversation with Eric Roble, some of the big things that came out of it was more of an in-depth conversation, and we gave him some feedback. It was kind of a both ways. I think the most interesting point of that was the buff system and how they're having major and minor buffs. They really asked a lot of questions about that. So if you're interested in basically the underlying mechanics more so than an overview, definitely check out Tamriel Foundries. Ours was more of, overview, big picture. This is really getting into the meat and potatoes and how it's actually going to function mechanically. So definitely check that out. The buffs were the most interesting point that I found. Right.
Yeah, going through this Champion System implementation, like real in-depth stuff about how they're going to implement it. Attribute rescaling. Oh, there's champion point progression. There's a lot of stuff. It is a treasure trove of information if you want to really dig into it. So I definitely suggest going over to Tamriel Foundry, and it's actually on their main page right now. So definitely go give it a read. It is definitely a good read. Next up in the game news for this week, the Tamriel Chronicle Issue number 76. Another one of these community programs, this one again featuring mostly fan art and fan creations. Some of these things, though, we saw on ESO Live episode 8 when they talked about a good number of these. Particular, there is a new song by, oh my goodness, Armin Gutierrez? Yes, which is pretty cool. I actually love his music. I know they had him on, which episode was it? Episode 6, I think? They had an interview with him. I can't remember which episode it was, but I think it's that one. And of course, there's also a lot of good fan art on here, as well as a very impressive Daedric armor costume for a cosplay. I like that a lot. I want one. So definitely check all of that out. All right, now we're going to get into a little bit of meat and potatoes here of things that we really wanted to talk about for news. After ESO Live episode 8 was aired, there was a lot of, I guess, confusion about how champion points were going to be allotted. Now, they came on the forums, Gina Bruno came on the forums and did a champion point clarification that went along with ESO Live. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to read it here. Hello, everyone. As many of you know, the champion system is designed to be a replacement for the veteran system. Internally, we have been implementing and testing the champion system for the last few months. During that iteration time, I don't know why it's like that, we learned a lot. This changed some of our intended launch goals for the system, specifically a concern of the number of champion points earned before the system launches. Here are 4 of the most salient points with regards to the number of champion points earned when we launch Phase 3 with Update 6, and the reason for the changes. Change number 1. The system needs to be integrated in phases, leaving veteran ranks in place for Phase 3. Because the champion system is layered on top of the veteran system, the power differential between players from veteran rank 1 to veteran rank 14 still exists. There are many reasons we haven't fully eliminated veteran ranks, chiefly a sense of progression in character and itemization progression. In the current phase, the progression still exists. Layering a second progression can exacerbate player separation issues, especially when there's a lot of variance in the champion system introduction. This phased-in approach is good for the game, but with dual progression past level 50, it means we will have even more careful. We'll have to be even more careful when making changes. Now let's stop and let's talk about this. I know we had talked about this on our last episode because we sort of found out from the developers that the veteran ranks were staying. Do you think leaving the veteran ranks in is going to cause an issue for players, or do you think this is the right move, Deltia?
Well, that's 2 separate questions. Is it going to cause issue for players? Yes, number 1.
Okay.
A lot of people said, oh, you said you're going to get removing them, now you're not. What's the deal? Blah, blah, blah. So, is it good for the game? Definitely. Definitely. You don't want to click the switch and overnight have a mess. So, I think they did the right thing with leaving them in and getting it tuned up, like the stars, and seeing what goes on before rolling out the new system. I definitely think that's a good idea.
Right.
So,
yeah.
People are going to bitch and be crazy about it, and that's fine, but you got to realize it's better that than everything being screwed up and this game going nowhere fast. So I think it's a good thing.
Okay. I know we were trying to theory craft a little bit, going what is going to happen to all the armor, because obviously armor and weapons, especially even just looking at it from a crafting point of view, you have 4 different kinds of materials that are used in the post 50, like the veteran experience level. 5 if you count the one that goes from 44 to 50. Not only that, but how were they going to separate it out when everything was level 50? that was really, like, I'm still concerned how they're going to go ahead and do that in the first place. And how do people stop making veteran 14 equivalent gear, like what we know now, for a fresh 50? Because before there was a gap measure, which was you're only VR1, you can't have this Void Steel Greatsword because it's VR9 to 14. What stops people from doing before? So, especially when you add a system like this, I think you would have caused a lot of shell shock, if you will, from removing it and completely flipping the system on its head by putting Champion System and taking VR out. So I kind of like how they're doing it now, but I still think there's going to be a little bit of concern when they remove veteran ranks. Like, how are they going to implement it for the new player experience, for new people coming in, such as console players, and how are they going to remove it so that the PC players who've already have VR 14 or VR characters, when they do take this away? I'm really still kind of concerned how they're going to do that. All right. Next point. The system should have more value for each point spent than originally conceived. So the second thing they learned is that each champion point needs to have more impact on the stats it is altering than originally planned. This came up frequently in our internal feedback sessions. Responding to that feedback, we decreased the number of overall points in the system from 1,400 total points to 3,600, but kept the range of what they could alter the same. Because each point is more valuable, there is less points overall in the system. Thus, we can't give out as many points with the introduction of the system as originally believed. Now, I know originally they were talking about each constellation. You have 3 major constellation and then 9 minor within those. So 3 minor within each major. They were saying originally you could put 400 points in every minor constellation. That was a lot. Now they've limited it down to 100, so you'll have 300 for every major, is from what I'm understanding from this. Did you get anything else different from that, Deltia?
No, they just stock split it, reversed way, so that they made it. They did the opposite with health and stats. They made health and stats inflated, so they gave it 10x, where they shrunk it down by 10 on the other side of it. So they made, essentially what this means is champion points there's less of them, so they're going to be more valuable when you spend each one. I think that's a good idea, because it really feels like, wow, this 1 point makes a difference in my character, instead of now I need 20 or 30 points to make a difference in my character. So it'll make you feel like right away you're advancing a different way, your account's advancing. So I think it's a good change. I like it.
Yep, and I think this is where a lot of the, I guess we'll just say hate, for lack of a better word, came, because people were expecting a lot more champion points than what they were originally told. I think when people were told they got 30 total, I think they got a little bit of shock from this.
Well, 30 total is not the problem. And this is going to get into the whole, they promised us, they said, and I got some flack on YouTube, we're going to read a comment here in a second. They said, go ahead and level your characters, we're tracking champion point system. We're tracking it. So what did everyone do? They leveled their characters, right? They were excited. Mm-hmm. They were like, oh, cool. All the progress I'm doing right now is going to count in the future. Then what happens? They come out ESO Live saying, hey, you're getting 30 points, period. Whoa, 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 whoa. That is 2 conflicting things, right? So you told us earlier that, we could level and spend 200 hours grinding out levels so I could start with champion points. Yet now you tell there's a cap on it to start, and it's only 30? That's kind of BS.
It also hurts when anyone who's a veteran rank 1 gets 30.
That's crap. Now let me read a comment here, if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I got a really good comment on YouTube. I've been getting a lot of great feedback on YouTube, and I appreciate that. So this one comes from To Kala Lily. Deltia, don't know if you'll see my comment since it's 5 days after the last one, but I'm very disappointed in Champion System. ZOS is taking away the achievements of everyone who reached veteran level and continued to progress their character under the veteran point system. ZOS told us specifically to continue playing our veteran characters because XP was being tracked. That has turned out to be untrue. Unlike people who can play many hours every day, I can play 2, maybe 3 hours a night after work, Monday through Friday, and then a little longer on the weekends in between family time. I've played continuously since the pre-launch period, mostly with one character. My first is a VR-14 Templar, who has done all of Caldwell Silver and Gold and most other achievements. My second character is a VR-14 Sork, who has only started in the first zone or 2 of Silver. My third is a 33 Dragon Knight. Templar is pretty much screwed out of 49 days played. 1,176 hours. She can never redo the Caldwell Silver and Gold quest. All that remains is veteran group content and PvP. Problem for someone like me is, most of that content usually requires more hours per session than I'm able to give the game. There will be no way for me to progress my character much anymore. Also, the 30 champion points for everyone means ZOS values that 1,176 hours I did progressing my Templar the same as someone who put a couple hundred hours getting to VR1, and who hits VR1 the day before Champion goes live. Even worse, after 1.6, a veteran system is being removed. Everyone will be rank 50, and ZOS does not plan to give players anything in return for their efforts, such as 1,176 hours. There is nothing right about this. And all the sugarcoat in the world about how it goes, it's good for the game, will not make it right. How about what's right for the people?
You know, that was a really good comment, because I was going to say a lot of people, you know, for the questing, that was a lot of experience. Obviously, questing is not the best way to gain experience in the game, but for people like this, it's still a sizable chunk of experience that now is not going to really affect their characters much.
The heart of the issue is not questing. The heart of the issue is, what can she do now?
Sure.
That's the heart of the issue. So you told me you're tracking XP. You told me I could play 1,000 hours on my character and I would be rewarded for it. Now you're saying that's not true. So for a person like maybe is a little casual or doesn't have a huge guild, how is she going to progress her character? Doing dailies in Kragorn? That's the last thing for her to do.
Mm-hmm.
So
now I want to play a little bit of devil's advocate here. I just want to say this as well. In defense of ZOS, we all agree these guys are some of the most open developers we've ever had. Like, period. In any game I've ever heard of, these are probably the most open, with the exception of maybe some indie developers who, you know, it's literally one guy programming. But the problem I have with this, and I'm not specifically calling out this person, because I feel for this person as well. I'm calling out the masses for this. Yes, ZOS said they would be tracking experience. They are being open with us, going, this is what we're planning on doing. But as they said while doing their internal testing, yeah, they were tracking experience when their original system contained almost 1,500 points of champion points. They have since done a revision of that. You know what I mean? They went, okay, this 1,400 isn't going to deal with us anymore. We can't do this because points don't feel like you're getting anything. People will complain about, I'm grinding for 20 hours, I get a point, great. It does 1/100th of a percent. Who gives a flying blank? You know what I mean? So we listen, yay, that's great. They, while testing the game, go, this just is not a fun mechanic. We got to cut it down. But then in that same note, then they go, well, crud, what we told people earlier is not the case anymore. Do we, as players and fans of this game, like, I'm not real happy with the way people are taking it out, because you guys would make me not want to be a developer. Like, you really wouldn't. Because you have these guys who are trying to be open and honest with you about what they're doing. You know what? Plans change.
But you can't lie about it.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a lie.
Plans change, and they're open with us. They told us, guys, this is what it is. We found out that 1,500 points wasn't fun. We limited it down, and in doing so, this is what we decided we had to do.
But plans change. I completely understand that. But doing a stock split does not mean that you have to basically go, well, we're cutting the champion points down. By the way, all that stuff we told you about leveling and progressing your characters, we're removing that too. Why? They're 30 points, a flat 30 points for someone who has gotten that grinded for 10 hours versus 1,000 hours? Make it 0.00005 points. I don't care what the point value is. Make it, you do something, you get an achievement. There's no flat rate crap. No one wants that. That's not entitled to your character, right? That does nothing to do with Deltia, my main, who spent 400 hours in this game. It's crap.
I see where you're coming from.
It is crap. You have to admit that.
No, I do. I admit it. It's a sucky situation for both parties at this point.
What needs to happen, to be completely honest, is go no VR 30 point crap, right? Say if you track, they can track XP. They can. They can track any comment in the game. It's math, right? It's zeros and ones. 2015 now. You can do it. So I don't care. It shouldn't be based on how many hours you played the game. It should be based on something. So you get points for what you've already done. That's what we just want. Some way it doesn't have to be an enormous advance, or say screw it, we're starting out fresh. Don't throw 30 points in our lap and say that's great, go have your fun. Either start fresh, everyone gets 0, or compensate us for what we had.
I will say this: if they do say we're starting fresh, people will probably complain, going, you still have the situation with people like this person who's played for almost 1,200 hours will go, well, darn, now I've still wasted all that time. And I want to point out a comment in chat from Aloha, nicest person on the internet. Hi, Aloha. It's still not been confirmed that ZOS would not compensate the experience, but they could not do it in Update 6. I honestly think, and we both discussed this is going to be a system that could possibly break the game. You know what I mean? I wouldn't want to go, okay, everyone gets so many points and then realize, oh, crud, the power levels are too much, we have to take it down. It could seriously break the game for a long period of time. So limiting the points at the start I'm fine with, but I like the idea of another option that they could do. What Aloha is suggesting is continue to track the experience, and then after they have the system, I guess, hammered out, maybe retroactively go back and add points in Update 7 when they remove the rest of the VR ranks. Go, okay, well, Delta, you played for 1,400 hours, you gained 32 million experience. That would go to an additional, 20 points. Okay, Update 7 will give you an extra 20 points because we've been tracking what you've been doing up until that time. I think that would probably be the wiser solution.
That's a great hypothetical, but I don't think that's what they're going to do.
They may not do that at all. That's
it's
right.
a wonderful hypothetical.
Well, it would be a nice thing to do for the people who've been, they were promised this before, but still, guys.
I'm not going to quit the game over this, but at the same point, I can understand people that do. And
sure.
People are going to quit the game over this. They will.
And I really have to say it, because the people who are going to quit the game, that I would not want to be a developer for those people. I wouldn't, because you're essentially punishing a company for
being open.
And then when plans change, going, screw you guys, you didn't do exactly what plans change, but at least they told us about it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It is our right to pay a sub for the direction we want, and
sure,
we may not have to pay a sub soon.
Yeah,
but,
right.
But anyways, that's our investment as a stockholders of this game is, if I don't like the direction of the game, I'm not paying for it, right? So that is your answer per se, instead of a free to play game. But I'm a fanboy. I love this game. I'm not going anywhere yet. So at the same point, I gave him a little too much leniency on this, because I do think it's a little BS that we're not getting rewarded for what our characters progressed in. That's it.
Sure. All right. We can kind of go back and forth on that, but we're going to go ahead and move on to the next point. Point 3, the system has to account for relative power values of the game, which is something we were kind of theorizing earlier. We had to start narrowing down the variables for the content in the game because we are changing many of the abilities and base factors in the gameplay. Be careful, people. Math. We need to start with less of a variance in player power to achieve a good introduction of the system. Or more simply, the more points we give out now, the harder it is to find a good place between various balanced points, such as PvP, overland content, veteran content, Craglorn, dungeons, trials, etc. Again, that was probably talking mostly about the limiting of points, why they had to go about doing this. The more they gave out, the more they would have to make changes later on. Number 4, the system cannot or shouldn't separate players more. This is pretty self-explanatory as it is related to the first point. While the system is meant to have built-in safeguards against players pulling away from each other too dramatically, those systems aren't in currently. A 1-to-1 XP conversion to champion system experience was too dramatic. So again, I'll go ahead and read the last paragraph before we talk about that. Also, when Phase 3 of the champion system goes live with Update 6, all accounts that have at least one veteran rank character on them will automatically receive 30 champion points. These 30 champion points, though applied to your account, are distributed in full to each individual character on your account, just as champion points you earn are. So, if you have 5 characters, at least one of which is veteran rank 1 or higher, all 5 of those characters will have 30 CP to spend. You will not be awarded more champion points for having 5 veteran rank characters versus just 1.
Oh, crap.
You will always be able to begin earning champion points at any veteran rank character from that point forward. We feel confident that our current solution is better for the enjoyment of the game overall than our originally announced design. This comes from weeks of testing the system. While iterating on solutions and changing the design is a normal and necessary part of the game-making process, we definitely understand how changes to a system like this can be frustrating and seem to come from nowhere. That said, we're going to continue to be open about our plans and designs for the future of ESO. While a change in development like this can be frustrating, it isn't a reason for us to not communicate. We never intend to mislead, but sometimes even our best ideas just don't work out once they get into the game. We feel the champion system is still going to be a fun way for you to keep customizing your character to suit your taste and specializing in ways to make you unique, whilst we're looking forward to you giving it a trial run on the PTS and sending us your feedback. So, Ark says, note to self, don't be an MMO developer. Here I was thinking of an internship at ZOS. Seriously, dude, the MMO developers are some of the, I don't know why anyone goes into game design. I really don't. And I mean, for something that I really love, I wouldn't want to do it. Just having to deal with fickle player base.
This is business 101. I mean, people.
Yeah.
I work for the Department of Veteran Affairs. You're talking about disability and someone's life. Imagine how difficult that is to deal with someone who's homeless, has no money, and you're deciding their life. I mean, It's just business, right? You just have to. There's just as many positive comments, but our society focuses on the negative.
Absolutely.
It's a loud minority.
And unfortunately, most games, because we're in the internet age, most of that focuses on the internet. We all know the internet is a place for positivity. Right? No.
Well, you just can't let it get to you. I mean, the more people that hate you, the better you're doing. I honestly believe that. The more people that hate... Look at George Bush. He wasn't very popular. Damn man was president of the United States. Right? I mean,
right?
Hate me because you ain't me. Saying.
All right, so, I mean, yeah, there's a lot. I know they had to come out with this entire post because there was a lot of angst on the forums. I mean, after episode 8, because of all the stuff that was brought to us.
No, I got some good stuff to talk about, which is, I think, I'm starting to run out of stuff to do in the game, to be honest. Now I know I play 1,000,000 hours, and I'm not saying everyone else is, but there's really nothing for me to accomplish left besides becoming Emperor. That's like it. And what I feel and some of my other friends feel, it's like, well, you got 1.6 coming out, but what's that really doing? That's not really adding any content. All it is changing the abilities. So when's the next thing going to actually come out where we get something new to do? That's a big content gap.
Well, here, let's actually, I don't know if do you have anything else you want to say on that before I roll into our discussion topic? Because I think kind of that fits as a nice little bridge, but not if you have something else you want to say.
No.
Okay. Well, speaking of content, and reason why I'm using this as a segue is we'll talk about this lately. We're going to go into our discussion topic. This is something kind of near and dear to my heart, because I'm not going to lie, I've been a little upset about this one. Recently, we found out that ZOS has done away with the 6-month subscription plan. Now, for any of you who don't know what exactly happened, you could, of course, subscribe to this game for monthly, which was $14.99. They offered like a little bit of a price reduction when you subscribe for multiple months. It was like $14.99 for a month-by-month basis, $13.99 for a 3-month basis, and $12.99 for 6 months. Now, you could actually buy 6 months of game time, period. I have done that twice so far. Deltia, I'm pretty sure you've probably done the same. FaZe has done the same. We've done the 6-month subscription. We've recently found out that the 6-month subscription has been, and this is the thing that I don't like, taken away and hasn't really been said. It just disappeared. They didn't really come out and go, we're doing away with it for these reasons. It just, poof, disappeared. But being the internet and what it is, somebody found it, and now it's kind of blowing up into a little bit of a, I don't know, it's an issue. And honestly, I actually agree with this. Because here's where we're coming from MMO gamers. Delty, I know your past background has been in SWTOR, so you're a perfect person for this. Whenever a game starts removing subscription plans, Warhammer Online did this, SWTOR did this, I believe Rift did this as well. When they start removing the long-term subscription plans, it normally is a precursor, like foreboding ill will here of a transition to some sort of buy-to-play or free-to-play method. Now, I don't believe this game will ever go free-to-play where you can download it and then it's like microtransactions like crazy. But I do feel like this game may go buy-to-play where you buy the game and then you buy, anytime they release an update, you have to buy it. Sort of like a DLC package from like Skyrim. This would honestly kill the game for me. I'm gonna say it now. If it ever came to that, Tales of Tamriel would be gone, because I would not be supporting a game like that. So this kind of has me a little bit worried. Deltia, what were your thoughts when you found out about ZOS doing away with the 6-month subscription plan?
Well, initially I didn't know the background history, like that's kind of the context of it, so I just I didn't really know. And then we had talked like on TeamSpeak or something about it, and then you kind of clarified what this leads to. And dude, I almost cried. I'm not gonna lie.
I did cry. I'm not ashamed. I'm like, no, not this game. Like seriously,
Please,
this
not
is
this
upsetting.
game. This really actually bothered me in a sense that, we've dedicated so much time to this game and the people in the game, and it's not like it's the end of the game, but it kind of is.
For us, it would be.
Once they release it free-to-play, and let me give you a background perspective as Star Wars. The reason I quit Star Wars isn't really because it was free-to-play. The reason I quit Star Wars The Old Republic is because someone was throwing games, meaning they were losing games in a ranked PvP system, and they didn't do anything about it. I had screenshots, I had videos, I sent them everything. That's why I quit Star Wars. It wasn't because it was free-to-play primarily. So what happened with Star Wars is it came free-to-play, everything's great. but free to play makes money. Why does it make money? Because 5% of people out there spend $5,000 a month buying random trinket crap. So the rest of 95% can be freeloaders and come on when they want. And I hated that model. It made everything in the game, all the content that was being developed was trinket crap, like little scooters and mounts and stuff like that. Well, I think you need to have some of that stuff, to get some money from the players. When all of your content really is that, and you come out with one thing once a year, and then you charge people for it, it's crap. The game's dead at that point.
And this is why I segued. You're saying that you do not have, you feel like you're running out of things to do, right?
Right.
When it's a free to play game, what are they focused on? They are focused on making things to sell the quick buck, the sparkly ponies of the world, things of that nature.
You're done making content. You're
Right.
done. You're done with substantial content. The game just sits there for a year before you get one content.
And this goes with not just free to play games, which are normally, every time I think of free to play games, I think of Korean MMOs that come out every month with essentially the same game, just a different,
Skin.
a slightly different name. But buy to play is another game that kind of burned me. I mean, it was good for what it was, but when I went into it, I was expecting more. And that was Guild Wars 2. Now, that was a buy-to-play model, which is what I believe would happen here. Whereas you would buy the game and it would be free to play after you bought the game, but anytime there was a substantial update, you would have to purchase it. Some sort of, dungeon pack, like you wouldn't be able to open it unless you had dungeon pack. This happened also with Lotro, Lord of the Rings Online. You would walk into a zone and it would be empty until you've seen this little flashing thing in the corner going, buy quest pack for, whatever zone. You click it and all of a sudden quests pop up. Is that what's
terrible.
Gonna happen to us?
Oh, man.
I mean, that's what would probably happen with buy-to-play stuff. Until you bought the DLC package, you didn't get it. You couldn't. Rothgar drops. Did you buy Rothgar for $4.99? I mean, technically speaking, it would be less money. And I'm fine with that. Spending money is one thing. I don't care. But without giving a subscription fee and having a constant source of income that you can project, any finance people out there will be able to say, okay, we have X amount of subscriptions. We know we're getting at least this much. So you can watch the subscriptions go up and down, so you can project how much money you can put into development. Free-to-play and buy-to-play games, you don't. You go, hey, Mr. Developer over there, I know you're really good at coding. You can make these amazing dungeons, but here's the thing, that doesn't sell. You know what sells? Sparkly ponies. Make me 5 different models and we'll sell them over the next month for $5 a piece. Yeah, they'll sell like hotcakes, and that's great and all. But what do you do then? You have no content. You'll sit around in Mournhold on your 5 sparkly ponies and have nothing to do.
It's a sellout when they basically cut the staff by 4 quarters, and the game's it's done at that point. And you can say Star Wars is a success, and it may be monetarily, but the evil empire EA, they know how to screw up a good thing. Right. They do. They really do know how to screw up a good thing. And when you start seeing pink ponies riding around in Elder Scrolls Online, you think immersion's broken right now?
Oh yeah.
If there's one developer that I believe in, it's these guys. But it was a punch in the gut when I thought, I don't want to go write guides for another game. I don't want to leave this community. I don't want to have. Think about this. If it's legitimately free to play, there will be people that make an account to just troll the game. They will They will come in this game. They will sit in Craglorn and go, "You guys pay for this game? This is a piece of crap. Why would you ever play this game?" That's what happens.
Do you remember day one when the game came out? When the people who started playing the game, they bought it and realized this isn't for them. What did they do for the remainder of their subscription time? They sat in there and just trolled everyone in chat.
Crash the game.
You know? That's what will happen.
I hate to say it, it will happen, people. It will happen. So,
and I mean, this community in Delta, you just said it. The community is what we love. Like everyone in chat room right now, almost everyone I see in chat room, I've talked to personally outside of this. Almost every single person I can look at in there and go, I've spoken to these people. Every single ESO streamer I've spoken to, like we know on a more personal level.
Yeah, it's just
That's going to go away if this game goes buy or free to play. It will. Because the community that we have, it's because we pay for the game. We want to be here. We have faith in developers. We have faith in the community. What happens when community's gone? It turns into League of Legends, and no one freaking loves League of Legends. They don't. I mean, how many people can honestly say they enjoy the community in League of Legends? If you do, you are the biggest liar ever.
It was a shot in the gut, man. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, this can't happen. This cannot go free to play. Please, not go free to play. Please, financially, I don't care what you have to do. I'll give all my donations. I don't care. Like, don't sell out, please, Zoss. Don't do it.
Right.
Please.
Look, my goodness, you don't need to go free to play. Look at other games. Ultima Online still charges a subscription fee. The game's 20-some years old. EVE Online still charges a subscription fee. You're a niche game. Who cares? We love you. We want, my goodness, you know how much money I spent on the Bethesda store alone? Like, you have a couple of us super dedicated people. Like, I go crazy.
I don't. Now, the thing that here's why the free-to-play model is successful, right? From a business standpoint. With a sub-based game, you have no way of giving the developer more money.
Mm-hmm.
You can't give them more money in game. Free-to-play, you have an endless opportunity. There's shiny things on your UI that say buy here, and it's flashing. I mean, that's the kind of crap you're going to see in the game. Now, why is that good from a business standpoint? Because you have a way to exceed your sub amount of money. You'll have people that spend $1,000 on random crap. So the balance is make a cash shop that is not power based. You can't advance your character, but maybe make a disguise in there for $10. Maybe make a mount in there for $10. Maybe you make
Warcraft does that now. They actually have an in-game store.
Well, but they screw it up because you can level a character to 90 with buying it.
I don't agree with that. That's
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Up until then, mounts, costumes, pets.
Do it. Do that. So that way you can get a little bit extra cash. The people that are really dedicated to the game, like me, what I could do is make an event like on my stream where I give away a cool in-game mount for $10, or so I could rededicate all that money that I was getting with the donations into the game and reinvest in the game. That's okay.
And I mean, Zoss, we've done that already.
I'm gonna stop real quick if I get a sniff of free to play.
And speaking of, this is something that we've been talking about this because this is what we see on the horizon. Hence why I named this episode "Ill Winds," because we don't know, but it's the thing that really, really bugs me and what makes me believe this is true. Zoss hasn't said anything about it.
Right. Yep.
For a developer that's so super open.
Yep.
Not to say anything about it. It's stupid.
And we have relationships with these developers and stuff. I mean, and we want this game to succeed. I mean, we're planning to do another 48, 72-hour stream on the PTS, and it's more than a effing game to me, is what I'm going to say, before I get real emotional. It's way more than a game to me. It's my social life. I don't go to bars. I don't go hang out with people anymore. I don't do all that stuff. What I do is log in with my friends. This is my social life. I do not want to leave my group of friends and have it just go to crap. I mean, that's why it's emotional for me. It's just, it was a punch in the gut. And I'm not saying that it's happening or we don't know, but man, it just hurt. I don't know why.
It does. And it's a scary situation because we don't know. And from a developer who's been so open, the thing is, this wouldn't be coming from the developer. This would be coming from ZeniMax, not the online, the parent companies, ZeniMax Media, whatever. If they've decided to make that switch, that might be one of the reasons. But a lot of the reasons why they do these kind of things is because, they don't want people there's no excuse for going, oh, they don't sell that well. Because I think someone's like, well, maybe they just didn't sell that well. Who cares? It's an option. You don't remove a subscription plan unless there's a reasonable expectation that within 6 to 12 months, you're not going to need it. Because you're not going to want people to go, yeah, my sub ends next week. I'm resubbed for 6 months, but in 3 months, we're going, free to play. Well, then you have to compensate those players.
Yeah, pay
and
them
that's
back.
what happened
Yeah.
in Warhammer. That's what happened in SWOTOR. The first, the ill will and the wind, as you were, was the removal of the long-term subscription fee. When those started getting removed, that's when you started, you didn't hear much about development anymore, and then it just keeps shrinking away, and that's what's going to happen. And we don't want to see that happen.
Obi in the chat brought up a good point on Twitter, and then right now, I just think they're making a change with the price of the sub because of the console release. They won't get rid of it. See, I hope you're right, bro.
I really hope you're right, but that still doesn't account for taking away the 6-month subscription option. It doesn't. I mean, you're talking about price-based versus time-based. If they wanted to lower the sub, they could lower it, and leave all of them there. But they're not doing that. They've removed the 6-month subscription, and I don't buy it didn't sell well. It doesn't matter if it doesn't sell well. It's a line of code that goes, yeah, bill me. It's not hard to make that option. It doesn't require an army of programmers to have a billing option on your website to let you subscribe for 6 freaking months. It doesn't.
They just don't want to pay it. Yeah, it's writing's on the wall.
And that's what's scary. And ZOS hasn't jumped in to go, hey, no. And this has been going on. This isn't just something that happened yesterday and we haven't given them time. I found out about this before I went away on vacation. And I've been stressing about it ever since. So, I mean, this has been going for almost 3 weeks now of it being gone and not hearing anything from ZOS about it. And that scares me a lot.
Yeah, the more we talk about it, the more it's scary. And I know they have to do what they have to do to eat type thing, from a business standpoint, but God, yeah, man, please.
I'm not going to lie. I've been home for about a week now, and you might not have seen me online much. It's because of this. Like, I honestly, this thought has killed my will of playing. Because it's like, I'm sitting there thinking, do I want to put my time into a game? Like, this podcast is almost a year old already. Like, next month, actually, not even a month, 28 days from now is our 1-year anniversary for this podcast. And, we've obviously dedicated a year. Deltia, you've been close to that, if not longer. We've been doing this for a long time. This has been our lives, essentially, for a year.
Right.
And I mean, that might not seem like a lot, but how many people have dedicated that amount of time to a game?
Well, and then it's outside of the game. You're not just playing it. You're doing so much more.
We do stuff inside the game. We do stuff for the community. We work on the shows. I mean, I've talked to Deltia on the phone several times planning show events, not even doing anything in the game, where we take our time away from even playing to prepare this stuff because we love this company. We love the game. And to see this it's a kick. And not hearing anything is a kick. I really hope ZOS comes out and maybe listens to our show and goes, oh, guys, we didn't mean it to be this. This isn't what it is. And let us know what's going on.
I am going to be glued to Twitter for the next couple of days. And
oh, yeah. But, I mean, just the thing is, ZOS knows, I mean, how many MMOs have, because we're in the MMO era right now. Because back when I started playing, there were 3. And MMOs were few and far between when they came out. How many MMOs release every year now?
Oh,
because World of Warcraft opened up this huge market. What, 5, 6, easy? Every year? And what do we hear? Subscription fail, free to play. Whatever. When they don't manage to grab that piece of pie that Warcraft has, when they don't hit that 10 million subscribers,
they trash
go,
it.
We lost it, and free to play it.
Cut the staff, try a new IP. It's over.
Yeah.
That's exactly it.
And, but that's the thing. We've seen the writing on the wall before. We have past experiences of this exact thing happening. And what has come of it? Not good things. Never good things. And that's what we're worried about. So, I mean, I don't mean to... Most people know us because we're very positive on this show. We really are. I'm a very positive person. But this has actually, you know, as corny as it sounds, this actually hurt. It feels like I've been betrayed, if you will. I think that's a good term. You know, if Zoss was my girlfriend, I just found out, you know, that they were cheating on me for the past 6 months. You know,
she was banging Deltia.
Yeah, you know, that... I mean, we make light of it, but that's really how I feel at the moment. And you might seem, oh, that's dumb, but when you dedicate so much of your time to something like this as both a fan of the game and as, you know, a personality to help, promote the game, because, you know, other than generous donations from fans and stuff like that, which we love you for, and you guys are essentially doing the exact same thing. You guys may not be able to host your own podcast, so you support us, but even so, it's an extra expense out of all of our pockets for free advertisement for a game that we love.
Yep.
We're doing this not because we're getting paid. I can tell you right now, other than developers, I have got nothing. Nothing. I mean, even from advertisements and stuff like that, that doesn't even cover the cost of what I paid for the servers to upload for this, the equipment, anything like that. That's minuscule. That's pennies. Through generous donations, we've been able to go above it, but that's because you guys invested. So you guys were doing it too. So to see all of our hard work and all of our love for the game possibly going away with a free-to-play, buy-to-play, it hurts.
Yeah.
Like I told Thais, I was actually dreading this episode, and that's never happened for this podcast because I love doing the podcast, but I've dreaded this episode because of this topic, because we don't know.
It's going to be a monster week for Elder Scrolls. They need to address two things. When is the PTS coming out? And then this. We need to know these things. We need to know about the PTS. We're tired of sitting in Cyrodiil doing the same thing over and over because we don't know what's coming next.
Sure. Thing is, if this game goes buy or free to play, it would be... We were used to getting 4 to 6 month updates, and these guys were amazing at keeping it up. But when they cut their staff by a fourth and then dedicate 90% of that staff to fluff crap, we're not going to see a new dungeon for a year. And that's just a 4-man dungeon. How long is it going to take for us to see a trial?
A year.
I mean, look at Guild Wars 2 with their living story crap. I mean, yeah, the game that they built up was great. It was fun to play through. They went for a year with living story, which was something that released in segments every couple months. You know how long it took you to do the living story segments? 3 hours. And then what did you do? You went away for another 3 months until part 3 of the living story came out. That's what you're looking forward to if this game goes buy or free to play. That's what it's going to be.
Man, it's a tough one. It's a tough episode. It really is.
You know, there's a specific reason why I didn't turn my camera on either, because I'm bright red at the moment. I'm going to have to take a drink. Give me a second here.
Yeah, it's more in a game to us. I mean, like the relationships that I've made, and I've personally grown so much doing the podcast and then YouTube and listening to you guys, and just it's my social life, right? And you guys help me out so much developing into who I am as like a YouTube personality, if you will. So it's just so much more than a game, and I don't have anything against free-to-play players themselves. I don't care if you're young, old, whatever. I don't care about that. What I care about is the history, is usually that it goes to a model where, you know, they kind of cut everything, make fluff crap, and then we lose our identity as players, and people are riding around in pink elephants, and that's not Elder Scrolls, yo. It's not. It's Elder Scrolls. This game is effing great. Why do you think I get on YouTube and say how great it is all the time? I want it to succeed. I want more people to play the damn thing. Otherwise, I wouldn't spend 3 hours. This is my day. This is my day. Wake up. What do? I spend 2 hours writing. I spend 3 hours streaming. I spend 3 hours at my house doing my own thing. I spend 3 hours of raiding that night. I spend 8 hours of my life every day doing Elder Scrolls stuff. And yeah, I love playing the game and stuff. I could just sit there and play. but instead I choose to make guides and dedicate my time to community. And for me, it's like, did I do all that crap and it's going to be down the drain now?
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. And what Angwar said in the chat, buddy, this isn't just other people freaking out. Like, this is me, and I'm about as big a fanboy as you can get. But the problem is, I'm not even reading anything. I'm just seeing what Zos is doing. I don't really care. I see Elder Scrolls potential free-to-play news on my Twitter. Every day I see like 3 new random sites popping up going, Elder Scrolls may go free-to-play in the next 6 to 12 months. Yeah, I never pay any attention to that. I don't care. They have no basis. The problem is, I'm not reading any articles. This is just things that we're seeing. And the problem is, as MMO gamers, I've been an MMO gamer for, at this point, 12, 15 years now. Yeah, and we've seen this happen before. Removal of a 6-month subscription or removal of the high-tier subscription plans has never, in the past... Oh, I hope Zos comes out and goes, oh, this is what we're doing, and this will be a first, because they have never, ever... I defy you to point out any game that has removed the long-term subscription plans and remained a subscription game. I don't know of any. Please tell me I'm wrong. I will French kiss you if you can give me an example where
it
didn't happen.
Oh, let me go find it. I'm tracking this down.
Tracking it down. I mean, I will downright, tongue in
French kiss another man. He will do it.
That's right. If you can show me a point where someone has removed long-term subscription, and has kept the subscription model. In the 15 years I've been playing MMOs, I've never seen it done. And that's what gets me upset. And I know, as you said, getting rid of one payment option isn't really the cause for panic. Problem is, they only have 3, and the 6-month one, when they start removing these, like I said, we've not seen this happen or end well before. I'm hoping, and I pray I look back at this episode and go, damn, I was freaking out over nothing.
Yeah.
I will. I will absolutely. Just, it'll be great. But unfortunately, I don't see that unless Zos comes out and, tells me something else. I can't say that I will stick with this game if it goes away. I won't. So, okay.
Moving on.
Kind of a downer episode, but I mean, this is something that as players, we need to be aware of. This has been our lives for quite, past year and a half, sometimes longer if we were in alpha. To see this, it's disconcerting, to say the least.
And I usually always overreact, right? I mean, how many apology episodes have I done now? Where
I will gladly do an apology episode if I'm wrong.
Well, I'm just saying that the overreaction thing, I usually do that, but I think this is one where it's going to be strong. It's so strong opinion. Like, this is the strongest thing. I do not want this game to fail. Knowing these people that make this game, God, can we get it? I'm just going to go harder than I've ever gone to make this game not go free. Streaming and letting everyone know how good this game is, because I do not want it to go that way.
And even if you say, oh, free-to-play isn't a fail, to us it is. To us, the game will die for us because we know what free-to-play brings. You know what I mean? Like, to me, the community that I've made, the friends here, you guys will stay, but I don't want to be around all the people that it comes in. Because, I'm sure there's some good people that come in. Like, I'm not talking to everyone. But generally, free-to-play communities are toxic pieces of crap. They are.
Oh, my God.
They are terrible. And, I've been through the free-to-play ones with Rift, and Rift became a complete crapshoot after it went free-to-play. Things that I worked for, achievements that I tried to get, like the rare mounts that drop from raids where, you saw someone right, you're like, wow, they beat that on the hard mode, and it's only like a 2% drop chance. Lucky them. Well, you know what happened when it free to play? Loot didn't drop for you. Would you like to buy it for $5.99? You saw everyone with that mount. That was the first thing I remember seeing when I logged in when Rift went free to play. Is there was a rare mount that dropped out of the one Dwarven raid, and I looked at it and I'm like, man, I always wanted that when I was playing. First item in the cash shop, buy it for $5.99. I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
Or how about Star Wars: The Old Republic? We will not have a buy-to-pay game. We will not. We promise you we won't have you can get anything more powerful. The very first day, they had power crystals, level 10, that were the end game power crystals. The very first day.
Right?
Like, what?
Yeah, just wait till they start releasing stuff going, hey, you need more tempering alloys? Here's a set of 5 for $10. That's what you'll see.
Yeah.
That's what you'll see. And that's not cool. It's just not. All right. Let's
move on to something, man, or
let's
something.
Move on.
Yeah.
Whew. Wow.
Positive note. I still love the game. And
I still love the game, and that's why I am so heated. If I didn't care about the game, you wouldn't hear me talk about it like this.
Yeah,
you wouldn't.
They've done so well. They really have. People are coming back and leaving so many awesome positive comments that this game is so much better than it was at beta. Just keep trying, Elder Scrolls. Keep doing it. You're doing it. You're doing a good job. Just keep up.
Please call me out. Like, go on ESO Live and say Aggelos is an idiot and we are not doing it. I will be so happy.
Please
I don't care. Call me an idiot. I will be so happy if you tell me I'm wrong. All right, we're going to move on to our next section, which are our Tales of Tamriel, which is what we did this week in-game. Deltia, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you were doing in-game?
Oh my god, I cannot stop PvPing. I cannot stop PvPing. I have PvP'd for 2 solid weeks and having an absolute riot doing it. So, I guess this is our Tales section.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so story time. Deltia story time here. So I was playing with Decibel, really high-end PvP guild. And, you know, the thing that I never realized with the overall strategies in this game is that your one little character may or may not shift the entire battle in your campaign's faction just by one action. One breath of life, one heal, one impulse, one bat might be what it needs to break the Red's back. And so a story is basically we went all the way through to Blue's home keep. So we snuck all the way there, about 20-25 people. We captured we flipped the outer and inner wall. It's called a 50-50, where you basically hit it 50% with trebs on the inner wall and hit the outer at 52. So as soon as it's flagged, the Big Red Army's on their way. Do you push through, get the gates down, repair it, and get mounted up? Granted, this was 20 v 100, and we held out for about an hour. 20 v 100. It was amazing gameplay. We were a tight, coordinated group. It felt like literally like the second Lord of the Rings, where, you know, I forget the 2 towers, where they're holding the towers off and they're falling back and they're whittling them down, and just a little bit more and we can win. It was that epic. It was amazing, and it felt like, you know, you're in a battle. You're in a battle for Emperor, and I just never had got that feeling before in PvP in this game. So for that was really what I've been doing nonstop. I can't stop because honestly, PvP is kind of over for me at this point. If we're not doing Serpent Trial, what's there for me to do? I mean, I love Dragonstar Arena to death, but I got all the gear that I need. There's one big milestone left to accomplish, and that's get Emperor. So I'm hoping that some new cool stuff comes out, like Imperial City and that sort of thing. But until then, I'm going to be PvPing my face off because it is just a riot, and I can't stop. It's just every class is fun and unique and different, and there's such good skilled players out there. I mean, they are some really good players and guilds, and it's coordinated, and so all the things I thought it wasn't, it is. So that's what I've been doing in game, like 300 type stands. It's been awesome.
Nice. Yeah, the PvP in this game is a lot of fun when you're in those epic battles. Like, it's just a blast to do all that. As for myself, like, for most of you know, I wasn't here for most of last week and a little bit of this week, so I haven't got a lot of chance to play. A lot of what I've been doing is I have actually been in Cyrodiil as well, but I've been in our buff campaign. I've been running around doing all the quests I could in Cyrodiil to try to knock some of them out, because I realized, I looked at my quest log and went, wow, I got like 21 of 25 quests, and I looked and 90% of them are in Cyrodiil. So I was in there messing around. Got to gank a few people, which was always fun, because a random AD person running around in the buff campaign, running across a bridge, sneak attack with a great sword, bring them down to like no health.
Wrecking blow. Yeah, wrecking blow sneak attack. That's good.
Wrecking blow sneak attack is almost like a one shot.
Oh yeah,
it's great. So I've been doing that. I've actually done that several times this week, but I actually was doing a lot of questing in Bruma, because I decided what I'm going to do is, there's achievements. If you haven't noticed, there actually are questing achievements for Cyrodiil. Yes, all the stuff are dailies, so you are repeatable, so you can repeat them however many times you want, but there actually are achievements for going out there and finishing up, doing all the dailies available within a certain town. So I was going around picking up and finishing the non-repeatable quests, which often offer either that unlock the repeatables or give a special reward, like the Nern Root Wine, which I still haven't finished yet. But I actually finished all of the Bruma dailies today, actually. So that was pretty fun going around, and I kind of like the idea of them, because most of the time the cities are besieged by some certain threat, and you go in there and the guys talk to you going, hey, bandits are now attacking us. It's a neat way of doing dailies, and they send you off to different areas, different points of interest on the map. So if you haven't explored all of the map, a good point of reference is just to go to the find all 5 towns that are available, go there and start picking up and doing the dailies, because more often than not, the dailies will lead you to one of those delves or one of those points of interest to have you complete a quest item there. So I finished Bruma, and what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to be working my way around, heading to different towns in Cyrodiil and trying to get all the achievements there. Why? Because I'm an achievement hunter and I like doing it. So that is about all I've done, other than I've done a couple Dwemer runs, because I've realized I've been running out of Dwemer motifs to sell. And I've spent all the money that I had saved up, which was almost 400,000 gold. But I spent it on upgrading my bank. So now I'm down to, I think, 20,000 again. But I have a 190 slot bank, which is always nice. I'm able to fit all my, and I'm talking every single one of my enchanting materials in my bank now, as well as most of my alchemy materials, so that's always nice. So that is what I did in game, and that's gonna, I guess, end our tales. Do you want to get up? All right, we're gonna move on to our next section, which is our dramatic reading. And actually, Thais is gonna come on over here. I kept trying to wake her up, but she was
awake.
It's kind of sleeping there.
I wasn't even asleep.
Oh, okay. Well, you were laying over there, because I know you haven't been feeling the best.
No, nothing but heartburn for days.
Nothing but heartburn for days. So, all right. So this week, again, we're going to continue the dramatic reading for the books, or the set of books called Literature. And this week is the Homilies of Blessed Almalexia. So have fun with this one. I think it's a bunch of parables. So they make no sense. I've pre-read them. Have fun.
That's fun. Okay. Cyrodiil and the Scribs. Young Cyrodiil, while playing in the egg mines, saw a number of scribs in a deep shaft, and he began to cast stones upon them, snickering as they skittered and scattered, until one of the scribs, lifting its head in agony, cried out to Cyrodiil, "Please, please have mercy, little boy, for what is sport to you is suffering and death to us." And so, Cyrodiil discovered that the idle amusements of one may be the solemn tortures of another. Lord Vivek and the contentious like contentious beasts. A Shulk and a Kakudi were strutting back and forth in a foyada, casting aspersions on one another's looks. "You are the ugliest creature alive," the Shulk told the Kakudi. "No, you are the ugliest creature alive," the Kakudi told the Shulk, for each thought himself most handsome and the other most ugly. Then Lord Vivek chanced by and settled their dispute. "No, you both are the ugliest creatures alive, and I will not have my pleasant sojourn spoiled by your unseemly squabbling." So he dealt them both mighty blows, shattering their skulls and silencing their argument, and went merrily upon his way. And thus Lord Vivek proved that ugliness is as much in one's manner as in one's appearance. The Boiled Kakudi. It is said that if a Kakudi steps into a boiling pool, he will leap out immediately to avoid harm. But if the Kakudi is standing in a pool, and a wizard slowly raises the temperature, measure by measure, to boiling, the Kakudi will calmly stand in place until he is boiled. Thus we see that we must be alert not only to the obvious danger, but also to the subtle degrees by which change may result in danger. The Dubious Healer. Once upon a time, a Telvanni issued forth from his tower, and proclaimed to all the world that he was a mighty and learned healer, master of all alchemy and potions, and able to cure all diseases. Lord Vivek looked upon this wizard and listened to his boasting, then asked him, "How can you pretend to prescribe for others the cures to all diseases, when you are unable to cure yourself of your own manifest arrogance and foolishness?" The Gwar and the Mudcrabs. The Gwar were so tormented by the other creatures, they did not know where to go. As soon as they saw a single beast approach them, off they dashed in terror. One day they saw a pack of Nyx hounds ranging about, and in a desperate panic, all the Gwar scuttled off towards the sea, determined to drown themselves rather than live in such a continual state of fear. But just as they got near the shoreline, a colony of mudcrabs, frightened in their turn by the approach of the Gwar, scuttled off and threw themselves into the water. "Truly," said one of the Gwar, "things are not so bad as they seem, for there is always someone worse off than you." The Wounded Netch. A wounded Netch lay himself down in a quiet corner of his feeding ground. His healthy companions came in great numbers to inquire after his health, yet each one helped himself to a share of the fodder which had been placed there for his use, so that the poor Netch died, not from his wounds, but from the greed and carelessness of his erstwhile friends. And so it is clear that thoughtless companions may bring more harm than help.
You know, I think a lot of those are, I'm trying to think of the word, like specifically are retellings of actual proverbs we have here, such as the boiled, what is that?
Kakudi.
Yeah, because they talk about that with like a bullfrog. Remember that one? Mm-hmm. They say if you, I remember hearing that a long time ago. It was on Bill Nye Science Guy. I can't even remember. But yeah, like these are just like rewritings in lore for popular parables and stuff we have now.
How could you say that they were horrible? They were awesome.
They weren't horrible. They're just abstract.
No, they weren't. They were clear.
They were clear?
Yes.
Okay. I agree.
Okay.
All right. All right. So that was our readings. And next week, let's see. What was next week? Next week will be a fun one, if I remember correctly. Nope. Sorry. The Legendary Scourge. I thought it was The Lusty Argonian Maid Volume 1, but that's not till the week after. Sorry, everyone. You have to wait 2 weeks. All right. This week, I actually didn't write down any add-on or community spotlight. So we'll have to... Yes, sir.
I said you're bad.
I am bad. I know. I was thinking about it, and then our discussion topic kind of weighed in on me, so... Community topic, go check out the Tamriel Foundry interview. There you go. That's our community spotlight. Go do it. They're awesome. Check it out. 2 pages worth of awesome information all about Update 6. Good stuff. All right, we're going to move on to our guild corner, which we talked about, Wings of Fate, which is our community guild for Tales of Tamriel. Last week, unfortunately, we lost our bid on the Windhelm trader, Sadzors. Yes. So we put in another bid. Hopefully this week we win it. So make sure everyone remembers the raffle that is going on. That is a good way, A, for a chance for you to win some excess money. And B, it helps fund the guild bank so we can continue to make bids. We normally do this on a weekly basis, but in order to make sure the payout is good, we want to make sure that the bids are actually, we have a pot of at least 50,000 or higher before we actually offer. I think for this week, the bid is at 18K at the moment. So we need to get about 32 more tickets in to run this for next week. So for those who don't know how that works, all you have to do is deposit 1,000 gold per ticket that you wish into the guild bank, and then send myself, that's Aggelos, Aggelos, a message saying, hey, I donated 5K, and then I'll be like, okay, well, 5 tickets, and I'll add it to the spreadsheet, which you can find on our site, talesoftamriel.com/guild. There's a link to a Google spreadsheet there, so you can see your name and your number of tickets that you have for that week, and you can see what the current pot is up to. So remember, winners get 15% of the total pot. I mean, as of right now, I think we have 120 members in the guild. So, like, if everyone bought one ticket for 1,000 gold, the pot would be up there. I mean, I think the last time the winner won 15 or 16K. So, and I think the person who did it only donated 2K. So they donated 2K and got 15 back. Nice return. And of course, it's a way of supporting the guild bank and getting us guild traders. So definitely do that. And be sure to sign up on the Nook forums that we have for the buy and sell. So if you have a rare item or are looking for a rare item, I know specifically there is a member looking for a Warlock ring, because I'm going to highlight that as well. Warlock ring, veteran rank 12. So whisper him. Let me pull that up real quick, because I want to make sure I know who it is. Oh, Big Tone. Okay. So if you have a Warlock ring, VR12 Warlock ring, you can message, that's Big Tone, BIGT0NE in game with a price. He's actively looking for that. So check that out.
You could just mail it to me for free and I'll get it to the right person.
Don't do that. He's a thief. He's terrible. No, I'm just kidding. So yeah, definitely check it out. And I mean, it's a good place if you have sell orders, things you don't want to put up on a guild store because they cost too much for the price you want. Throw it on there and have people check it. Or if you're looking for something specific, or if you're need to look for a crafter, we have a crafting profile section so you can see people in the guild, what their current crafting is, and so you can look them up and maybe place special orders there. Check it out, because eventually I'm also going to be doing special contests and giveaways only for people who are signed up on that forum site. So check it out. All right, that is our guild corner, and we're going to move on to our emails and iTunes review, because we haven't had any in a while, but I went back and checked, and we actually had 3 iTunes reviews this week, which is pretty awesome. So thanks. Go ahead and read a couple of those.
Great podcast, 5 stars by A Salus Brood. This is by far the best podcast I have ever listened to. I have been a long-time Elder Scrolls fan and have only recently started into ESO, and so far it is awesome. The hosts of this podcast are some of the few people that enjoy the Elder Scrolls and ESO as much as me, LOL. I really like everything on this show. Keep up the good work. Next is Entertaining, 5 stars by Bub899. Very good podcast, fun and interesting. Keep up the good work. Next is Awesome, 5 stars by Eluder.
He's in the guild, actually. I've talked to him several times.
I love this podcast. Thais and Aggelos are great, and of course, Deltia, the Great and Powerful, are great to listen to. I love the readings you guys do. Thanks for being amazing.
There you go. He is officially, spoiler alert, has informed us that Deltia was in fact the Wizard of Oz. That's right. No?
No.
Oz the Great and Powerful. All right, never mind. Sorry, just blew my... Everyone can see how geeky I really am. That's what
No,
happens.
you're not a geek. You're just a huge dork.
Okay. And that comes from my loving wife.
Yep.
You're amazing.
I know.
Awesome. All right, we're going to move into our final thoughts for the show. Face, do you want to say anything?
I loved reading my lore section.
All right. And I know everyone loves listening to you read those, so...
So even though I'm not feeling well, I knew I had to do the lore section because I enjoy it so very much. So
Excellent. Well, we're glad you came on, and we're the one ray of sunshine on this particular gloomy episode.
from what I was hearing, yeah, you definitely needed a
Needed a
bright
little-
ball of sun.
I know, it's weird, because I'm normally a very optimistic person, right?
Yeah.
I know, it's a little weird. Got a little dark even over here for me. My goodness.
I don't like sitting underneath your storm cloud.
Right. Storm clouds. Anyway, Deltia, good sir, why don't you give us your final thoughts for this episode?
Yeah, it was a rough episode. We're passionate about this game and, want to see it develop the way we want to. And I just, hope that they can stick to their original model. Because I love the game. I love the community. I want it to succeed. I hope it's a rock star on consoles. I'm just going to work hard, telling everyone how great the game is and to get in there. I'm going to keep doing my videos, just really pounding out PvP. I've got a lot of support recently. I'm talking a lot of support. A lot of donations, a lot of nice, friendly comments. So I really, really appreciate it from you guys. It's been a growing experience in this game. It's a part of my life. It's something that I attach to being 30 and kind of being myself on the internet, if you will, creating a personality and being fun. And so that's why it means so much to us. So it was a little deep, dark. It's going to be a monster week for ESO. We need to find out some things. So if I find it out, I'll be on Twitter, deltiasgaming.com, my site for new guides talking about PvP. Will probably be my next topic. It's going to be a big week. Might be good, might be bad, might be amazing. So stay tuned.
Excellent. And I do want to thank all my co-hosts for being on the show. I want to thank the chat room as well. You guys are awesome. Thank you for being so active today. It's great. Absolutely great. Final thoughts for the show. Very depressing show. This has been weighing on me for past 2 weeks now. I really hope Zos comes out and gives us some good information soon, because obviously everyone here has known me. This is episode 48. I've been nothing but positive for 47 episodes. It takes a lot to get me down, and I never listened to the naysayers or anything of that nature, but this is something from my own past experience and things that I've been seeing that has worried me. And I mean, we should let Zos know that we do not want to see this game go that way. Like, we don't. We're the loyal fan base who stuck with them all this time. I mean, and obviously it's been paying off for us because they made such an amazing game that we love. We just don't want to see them go down this dark, terrible road. It is. It's a bad place. No one wants to be there.
You're like free to play is like Mount Doom and
it is
like a low trail.
It is. It's Mount Doom. Do not go to Mount Doom. It's full of orcs and
trolls,
and fire and trolls. Yeah, full of trolls. It's terrible. It's
that
like
should be the thumbnail.
Bridges.
Will you do the thumbnail? Like, that's the thumbnail.
The thumbnail for
like
trolls
Mount Doom,
under a
like,
bridge.
and it says like free to play or something. Would you
free
do that?
to play Mount Doom? I think that's what I'll have to do for the thumbnail. Yeah, definitely. Don't go that way, Zos. You have so many loyal fans who love this game and support it. I mean, like, we're some of your most staunch and supporters here, and we just don't want you to see this happen. Because I know, speaking for myself here, but if this game goes by or free to play, I won't be around. I just won't. I won't stick around to see this turn into the troll fest that it's gonna be.
Oh my gosh, you are dark today.
I know. This is a dark, serious episode. So,
jeez.
That's well. Final thoughts. It's what I feel. If you wish to follow me personally, you can follow me. That's at Aggelos, AGGELOS_WF. I've been getting a lot of new Twitter followers on there. That's for all my rantings outside of the show.
A lot of porn pictures, so you might be offended.
A lot of porn pictures. No, I don't sub to those because they subs to me, so she'll see them. So.
What's to say I don't want to see them?
Oh.
Yeah.
50 Shades of Grey's coming out.
If you're seeing what I'm playing, you can follow me there. It's 99.9% ESO, like 0.01% Witcher.
Witcher 2?
Yeah, check it out. That's where I'm at. So yeah, I want to thank everyone for listening to the podcast. If you wish to help support the podcast, you can feel free to donate via the PayPal link on our website. You can use the link for Amazon off our site as well. We get a nice little kickback anytime you buy anything off Amazon using our site. Or better yet, just tell a friend about us. If you wish to contact us with questions, comments, criticisms, the website for the show is talesoftamriel.com. You can email the show at podcast@talesoftamriel.com. You can follow the show on Twitter at Tales of Tamriel, Facebook at facebook.com/Tales of Tamriel podcast. Also, feel free to rate and subscribe to us via iTunes. And if you missed the live show or want to catch up on any past broadcasts, or any YouTube exclusive content we have, subscribe to us via youtube.com/Tales of Tamriel. Thank you so much for listening. I hope we didn't really depress you too much this episode. And come back next week for another episode. Hopefully it'll be brighter, more optimistic.